Casual economist, what's happening, man? I make sure I'm not getting my sounds right. All right, we got some people coming in. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Getting all set up. He caught a live casual economist said, thanks for coming in, man. Thanks for coming in. Who else we got in the house, y'all? Go ahead and leave a one in the chat, as well as leave your city and your state and where you guys are dropping in from today, man. It's Saturday, guys. It is a beautiful Saturday here in Austin. Partly sunny. Man, I was up early this morning, guys. I've been up early this morning. I had to get up this morning to take the wife and the kids to the airport. They are gone for the next 2 weeks. But I got to figure out what I got to do with myself over the next 2 weeks, man. But I got a plan. And this conversation today is going to be about having a plan, guys. It's going to be about having a plan. And plans are important. You guys know that we talk about, management information systems. We talk about going to college and getting your degree and different STEM degrees and so forth. And we also talking about working and climbing the ladder in corporate America, right? Ladder climbing. But the biggest thing is you got to have a plan in order for you to be able to execute. Failure to have a plan, that means you're more than likely going to fail. That's a good point, casual economists. More live streams. I think that's definitely something that I'm going to be adding more of, because I do have more time. So you're absolutely right, man. But the number one thing that I'm actually going to be doing every single day now, guys, is getting back in the gym. That's what Mr. Wade is going to be doing. I'm going to be getting back inside the gym. I went to the gym today, and for the next 14 days, I will be within the gym at least 30 minutes a day. That's the minimum. Today, I was in there for an hour and 21. But going forward, I have to make sure that I'm going to be in there 30 minutes a day. I want to get back to a routine. You guys know that I tore my Achilles in June and had it surgically repaired. And I've been doing PT. And I really haven't gotten back to the gym since during that time. I really haven't gotten back to good condition. And I packed on a few pounds. So, with me picking up YouTube and work being so busy and, corporate America and life just hitting you, I really lost my focus into, lifting weights and really focusing on my overall physique and stuff like that. So I gained a few pounds. That was something that I expected to happen, especially not being able to walk and stuff like that. And it was only a few, total of 4, but that 4 is something that needs to go, and I need to get back into really good shape. So my goal is, as I mentioned, to go back to the gym, and I'm going to be doing that for the next 14 days. So when the family gets home, I already have a schedule that already exists to where I can create it and do my workouts around them, as well as my corporate job, as well as my coaching, as well as, hanging out with them and YouTube and stuff like that. So perfect time for me to get this stuff done. Let's see who's all in the house. We got Casual Economists in the house. We got Kev Tech IT Support in the house. Kev Tech is in the house. I loved your LinkedIn post, Kevin, about your situation as well, too, getting up in the morning and running. It's discipline that's very important. And, one of the things about me is I did not stop working out. I started to do more in-home workouts and stuff like that, but more of a muscular dude. So typically I pick up weight when I don't do cardio. So push-ups and stuff like that is all good. But what I need for my physique is a little bit more cardio. I've been doing the Peloton over the last 3 weeks, but that was a challenge as well too, with having a torn Achilles. And the physical therapy has really been helping with that. So I'm in a good place, guys. I'm in a good place, man. Casual Economist said, I got to hit the gym too. I miss it, but it's hard to find the time. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's hard to find a time when you already have a schedule, but you really have to make time for it. And I knew that this trip was coming up with my family. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to go. I need to work on myself. I need to, focus on the business, because I was just in Wisconsin for the last, in August for a month and a half. And I can't get thrown off my schedule like that again. So I let my wife and my kids go while daddy's going to sit back at home, finding some things to do on his own. Kev Tech says discipline is needed in anything you do. I try to motivate other people, laughing out loud. At least I try to do it. Yes, that was a very good post, Kevin. I actually enjoy reading that. So guys, let's get into the subject of today's conversation. I don't know if you guys saw last night's conversation, but I, decided I wanted to switch some things up. I typically don't go live at night. I leave that time to the family, but knowing I had to drop the wife and the kids off to the airport this morning, I wasn't going to do a coffee talk. And I think, different subjects require different times of the day. You're not going to go with educational, content for the most part at night when people are chilling, especially on a Friday night, right? I typically think that's something that you want to do early in the morning and so forth. And today, I wasn't expecting to go live. I didn't, I wasn't planning on going live, but I said, why not come out and hang out with the ladder climbers, man, and see if I can share some experiences with you guys and share some things that people are doing. And one of the biggest things is some people just don't have a plan. And let's get into this, guys. The first subject that we're going to be talking about today is why millennials are leaving their six-figure jobs. We talk about tech all the time over here, guys. We talk about tech all the time. And I'm encouraging management, information systems, computer science, and all this other stuff. Well, what ends up happening is you can go to college and major in these majors, right? That's completely fine. But you're going to have to get into the corporate world one day. And the corporate world is good. And you can get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars in this world. But what is your plan when you are in this world? Just like I talk about your plan and going to college and making sure you're sticking to a focus and so forth, you got to have a plan inside corporate America as well too, guys. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to share with you a video of why some folks are leaving six-figure jobs. And these are jobs that you guys will kill for. We all will kill for some of these jobs. We will kill for some of these positions. And these are high paid positions. So we are going to break down this video. This is a CNBC Make It video of why millennials are quitting their six-figure jobs. And then from there, we're going to talk about the mistakes that people are making, because a lot of people are hearing all this, the great resignation, I'm going to quit my job too. Well, a lot of you don't have money to be able to quit. A lot of you don't have a plan. And if you're going to think about quitting, you should have a plan. And we're going to talk about that today as well. You should certainly have a plan. And life is hard, right? I haven't met anybody in my entire life that says that they love working for corporate America or working with somebody. Yes, we all do it because it's a means to an end, or it's a way that we can fund our lifestyle and so forth. And I talk to CEOs, right? They do it for a certain amount of time and then they get out of it, right? And hopefully they make enough money to where they can be in a position in their life where they don't have to work ever again, or they can choose what type of work that they want to do. Same thing for anybody else who don't even get to that level and don't want to get to that level. You have to figure out a plan and what is it that you're doing it for. You have to figure out what is it that you're doing it for. What is your ultimate goal? Because early on in your career, especially, you're going to face some very challenging times trying to climb the ladder, trying to get to a six-figure salary, being worked to death. It all happens. I've experienced it myself. and still sometimes do. But now I have a better thought process, and I can actually have little outlets that stop me from feeling these burnouts because I have other things and other passions that I have that I'm working on. Black Heights, coaching, YouTube, right? Real estate. All these other avenues that I have are multiple streams of income for me, but also at the same time, it's a way for me to alleviate me just focusing on my corporate role. So let's get over here and talk about this, guys.
To most workers in the US, the perks given to those who work in tech are astounding. $2,000 to spend on a vacation anywhere in the world, $2,500 per year for student loans, $4,000 in baby cash for new parents. That on top of lavish offices decked out with in-house massage parlors, gyms, and cafeterias serving free restaurant-quality food. During the pandemic, in-office perks were replaced by money to furnish home offices, mental health days, and the freedom to work from home forever. In an industry fraught with competition for the brightest minds, perks have become a way to not only attract, but also retain top talent.
The benefits and perks package alone, I would say probably was at least 40 or 50K.
This on top of salaries that are multiple times higher than those of other industries. In 2019, the average tech salary in the US.
Look at that, guys. Look at the average tech salary for folks in the US. Austin, 137. San Francisco, 155. Seattle, 142. New York, 143. These are high salaries, guys.
This was $146,000. That's almost 3 times the median salary of public school workers, who made up the largest industry of workers in the country in 2021. But even those swanky office spaces, 6-figure salaries, and unlimited time off are not enough to keep some millennials from leaving their tech jobs.
I expected kind of this perfect work environment, but it was ultimately still a big company with a lot of those same corporate problems that you get in a large company.
Hi there, can you hear me? CNBC spoke to several people who left their lucrative tech jobs to ask them one question: why?
Let's get into it, guys. This is what we're going to get into today. Why did they leave their jobs? And this is the questions that I want for you all to start thinking about as well, too, if you're getting into this space. And if you're already in this space and you're already thinking about it, these are people who supposedly have the 6-figure jobs that we talk about, right? That you can make a lot of money and do really well for yourself and have a really good lifestyle. But that comes with some sacrifice, guys. So let's talk about it. Let's hear what these guys have to say.
Free team building trips to Hawaii and private concerts aside, the tech industry can be stressful. I'm curious, was there a moment for you when you started noticing that like some of the perks kind of start losing their luster?
A lot of these companies have unlimited paid time off, which sounds amazing, right? But what happens in practice is a lot of people take less than you would otherwise. They serve dinner every day, but they serve it really late. So if you want the dinner, you got to stay at the office, you know? So it's things like that where it's really, it's a good perk, right? But there's something about it that's like, it makes you work more.
So studies have shown, and a lot of companies have adopted this. This is one thing that I would say to you all, guys. Unlimited time off. Yes, companies have it, but the majority of people don't leverage it at all. I can take off any point in time in my career or any of my day. That's a cool thing about sales. It's very, very flexible. But I don't think I ever take a day off. There's always something to do. Now, I do have a lot of flexibility to go out there and be on a boat or something like that during my day. And I may have 1 or 2 calls or have to answer a few emails. But there's really no days off, especially if you're in a high earning position, especially something like sales. There's no days off. What I would also tell you is this, is early on in your career, you haven't earned the right to take unlimited days off. Taking days off are for the people who have shown that they are very good at what they can do. And even them, it's very difficult for them to take some time off. So what I'm going to be explaining to you all today is this, is when you're working, especially climbing up the ladder, get to a point where you can take those days off. Not unlimited, anything like that, but schedule your time off and don't feel bad about doing it because you're going to need to resharpen your saw. We all get to that point. At one point in time in my career, I told you guys I was on the road for 260 something days. I was this person that was really getting ready to burn out, or I was burnt out, constantly grinding those days as an engineer, right? These are the stories that a lot of people don't tell you guys. I say it every once in a while, but I don't go into the details of it, of what it takes in order for you to get to making X amount of dollars in your career. It takes hard work. And the majority of people that I was going up with that came in the same class as myself as a software engineer, they quit. They quit like these people. They get to a point where they're making money and they're having to do more and more and more and more and more and more and more. Companies asking for you to do more. You are in a position to do more because you're starting to gain that knowledge and so forth. So they're going to keep pushing. They're going to keep pushing. They're going to keep asking. You're going to keep asking. You're going to have to figure out a good plan for you to take time off. And let me give you some advice. What I did to recharge was take the month of December off. I worked and I made it very clear to my bosses, guys, in the month of December, I am taking off the majority of the entire month. And basically what I did in the month of December was play video games. I played Madden. That's what I did. My wife, she would wake up and she would go to work. And I would seriously be sitting in the living room playing Madden all day, getting my workouts in. But I did what I wanted to do at that point in time. I wasn't as creative as I am now to say, okay, well, I should have been probably working on a side business at that point in time. But I did what I wanted to do. I played Madden. I listened to music. I didn't check my laptop. I actually turned it in. I left it at the office to make sure that I wasn't going to get any phone calls. So you want to make sure you structure your time so that you don't experience this burnout. And you have to really communicate what it is that you need in order for you to take care of yourself in corporate America, guys. You have to do that. A lot of people are afraid to speak up and say, hey, you know what? I need to take a day off here and there. I need to take Fridays off for the rest of the month. You can only do that, though, guys, if you are a good employee. If you are somebody who is very talented at what you do. So you have to work your way up there. Let's continue to let these guys talk.
Jack landed a coveted job at Uber as a software engineer in 2018, after going through an intensive coding boot camp in San Francisco.
I guess I never considered that you could even get into something like Uber or Google. I thought those were kind of like reserved for, really elite individuals.
Jack says that Uber was the best job he ever had. But being a part of an industry that thrives on efficiency and innovation meant the pace could be unrelenting.
Started out really great because I was new. I was just learning everything, right? But the longer I actually stayed, the more, the responsibilities kept kind of increasing on me because I became a critical member of my team. I felt kind of stuck because you get motivated to finish and you're like, oh, I'm stressed to meet this deadline. But then you're almost on a treadmill where you finish and then you just get a new project.
Here, so this is something that comes with the territory, guys. I don't know why he didn't know that, but as you continue to climb, you're going to be asked to do more. You have to really decide if you're going to do it or not. That comes with gaining additional responsibilities. That comes with a higher salary. Some people aren't cut out for it. It could be very difficult. It's tiring. It's very tiring. He didn't know what he was getting himself into. 1 minute, the project is over. Next thing you know, you're asking for another one. The next thing you know, you're working on the project and they're asking you to help out on here because there's a forest fire going on or a customer is unhappy. There's always something, but you really have to communicate what it is that you're going to accept and what it is that you're not going to accept as well. Let's jump over to the chat real fast. Who's in the house? Brother Keep It Techie's in the house. Brother Kev Tech IT Support's in the house, guys. Again, do me a favor. If you guys haven't subscribed to Brother Kev Tech IT Support, go ahead and subscribe to his channel. Great content creator, wealth of knowledge. If you want to get into the IT space, great person to follow. Linrad Technology says, got to get that cardio on. You're absolutely right, brother. Kev IT Support said, discipline. Wayne Wilson's in the house, creating your own tech startup. Ooh, Kev Tech IT Support said this. Toxic environment, bad managers, bad coworkers can pretty much be anything. Absolutely. Engineering Cannabis says creating your own tech startup. Ooh, hey, you're not going to be able to create your own tech startup unless you have the skills to do so. And I think a lot of people right now, Engineering Cannabis, they think that they have the skills with just 2 years out of school. And we're going to hit on that as well, too. We got Blind Guy, his wife, their life in the house as well. I'd like to know why they left these jobs, too. Some of them are soft, guys. Some of them are soft. Some of them can't take it. Some of them want the easy road. Some of them haven't been built to take these sort of challenges ahead. These are the same type of people that, they get on YouTube and start a channel and quit after 3 months, right? Or quit after a month. These are the same people that just aren't in it for the long haul, but they end up wanting the same thing that the long haul people end up getting. Okay? Have a plan. It's about the long haul. Typically early on within your career, you're going to have some of the biggest challenges that you're going to face, but that comes with the territory. It becomes easier once you get over those first couple years and become a subject matter expert in a space, right? And then you can continue to climb the ladder at that point in time. It's going to get easier because you're not going to have to do the bird work. Being on the road for 268 days out of my life, I could only do that as a person who didn't have a family. Just imagine if I had to do that with a family today. I couldn't do it. There's no way I could do that. I would be an absent husband. I would be an absent father. And there's people that are on the road that much now. So get it done early within your career so you don't have to worry about that later. Let's see what else people are talking about in chat. Gabe A is in the house. My brother Gabe's in the house, guys. Blind Guy, his wife there is in the house, guys. Do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe to this beautiful couple as well, too. Go ahead and check them out. Fantastic content creators. I'm going to be on their channel soon. I think it's going to be within the next week or so. I'm looking forward to this one. Kev Tech IT Support says more money, more responsibility. That's true. We're all human. Dr. Dick says only certain people do this foolishness. The rest of us plan months in advance. Yes. We're going to talk about that too. I think I know what you're talking about, Dr. Dick. We're going to talk about that, man. We're going to talk about that. John Maxwell says, great happy hour combo yesterday. Oh man, I you know what? Last night was interesting, man. I wanted to bring a different tone to that conversation yesterday, and I hope it was a stream that resonates with a lot of our men. That's what I was hoping to get out of it, making sure that I communicate a message to our young men who the majority of men watch this channel. So I was catering to the men last night, and I hopefully left a message that resonates with them. It's an all-around conversation of growing up and becoming a man that we talked about last night. And guys, if you haven't had a chance to watch it, go ahead and watch the show last night. I appreciate you, John. Thank you so much. Sarah's in the house. Is IT management the same as management information system? Yes, it is, Sarah. It is absolutely the same. The college that I went to, University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee, when I was there, they actually called it Management Information Systems. And today it is called Information Technology Management. If you go look at the curriculum, it is the exact same. We got Ingrid Jared in the house. My 17-year-old son is thinking about getting to IT. Your 17-year-old son is on a right path. And I would say this, Ingrid, we have Kev Tech IT Support who's actually in here. I would advise you to have your son subscribe to his channel. This is going to give him an introduction into IT and an even more than an introduction. This is going to be Kev have courses and all sorts of stuff on this channel. This will give him a head start by watching somebody like Kev Tech IT Support. Dr. Dix, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Let me put that on the screen, man. Man, Dr. Dix got all the money today. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you for the super chat, man. Let me get that on the screen over here. I gotta get Dr. Dix on the screen, man. Let me do that. There we go. There we go. I appreciate this brother right here, man. Dr. Dix is the professor, PhD, computer science. Came on the channel to talk about automation. and how automation is going to impact a lot of people's careers, especially if they're not in tech. It's going to impact a lot of people's careers, especially if you're not in tech. So that's another stream that if you haven't watched it, go and check that one out as well too. I appreciate you, Dr. Dix, man. Thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Let's go through the chat again and I'll get this thing continue to rock off. So King Jaffe's in the house. Good afternoon, my people, man. Good to see you, King Jaffe. We appreciate you as well. Ingrid Jarrett's in the house as well too. We got Sarah in the house as well too. I appreciate you guys for joining us today. But let us continue on. Let's find out why these people are quitting their jobs. Let's find out.
Anna Arsentieva worked as a software engineer before leaving in December of 2020.
I got my things there. I'm about to head out from the building. I've been here for the last 8 years. I'm about to set the alarm and leave for the day. And not for the day, but actually leave this time.
The company where she worked didn't offer the same perks as the big tech giants, but it did offer a good work-life balance. Still, she felt a similar type of pressure.
What led to the burnout? It was not the amount of hours I was putting in, but the fact that I will have a project, I will get everything I can to make it successful. As soon as that project ends, immediately a new one starts.
Jack and Arsentieva are not alone. A 2018 survey by Blind, an anonymous workplace chat app, found that over 50% of the close to 11,500 tech workers surveyed answered yes when asked if they currently suffered from job burnout. Compare that to a 2019 survey of 15,000 physicians, only 42% of who said that they felt burnt out. And the pandemic only seems to have made things worse.
So many of my clients found themselves working all the time, rolling out of bed in the morning, working, thinking, well, I have nowhere to go this evening, so I might as well just keep working. Waking up on a Saturday, I have nothing to do. Well, I might as well just keep going. There is this understanding of you're being paid well, there's all these perks, there's, stock options, we're giving you a lot, and in exchange, we're really requiring you to work those extra hours.
A 2020 survey by Blind showed that 68% of tech workers felt more burnt out while working from home than while working from the office. The survey included over 3,000 employees working at companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook, Apple, and Google. Beyond the day-to-day pressure, some said stagnation played a role in their decision to leave their tech jobs.
I was looking at the trajectory of the job over time, and I didn't really see the growth opportunities I wanted.
In fact, a 2020 survey of more than 4,000 tech workers found that, following salary, the opportunity to learn new skills was the second largest motivator to accept a new job offer. The same survey found that 58% of tech workers would leave their current job for another one if presented new challenges and problems to solve. Jack imagined his life 10 years into the future.
You're still in the same office, you're at the same desk, have the same chair, same commute. So the details change, but your life is kind of the same.
Arsentieva agrees that the desire to keep learning and growing played a part in her decision to leave.
In 2019, at the end of the year, I was talking with my manager that I want to do something else. I want to learn something else. And it just happened that my interests were not aligned with the interests or the needs that the company had at the time.
Arsentieva.
Let's talk about this, guys. So you see that people are choosing to leave for a higher salary to learn new skills and so forth. That's very important. That's very, very important. And the whole point of this chat really is to talk about also to have a plan. And what it is you should see where you want to be just about every single year within your career. If you want to get to a six-figure salary, have a plan. What is it that's going to align or take for you to get to that six-figure salary? You start off as a software engineer, you move up and continue on, but you have to figure out how you can actually get to that six-figure salary. When you're in a role and you're working for a company and you say, okay, well, what's my next plan after I get into this company? It's not just to sit here and hopefully it's not for you to just, be comfortable with $60,000 and think that you're balling and go out there and buy that new car. No, what is your next plan? What is your next plan? Is your plan to make more money? Is your plan to gain new skills? Does the company give you an option to do that? Does a company give you an option to do that? What the gentleman said is he thought about what it's going to look like 10 years from now working for a company like Uber. He's probably going to be in the same role. So there wasn't going to be much of an opportunity for him to climb within that company for his specific role. Being in tech, and a lot of times in having these tech positions as a developer, you have to figure out how long you want to be in that role as a developer. Otherwise, you can get stuck as a developer and continue to have this burnout. You have to think about what's next. What's next is climbing the ladder, becoming a product manager, becoming a project manager, becoming a program director. All these roles are going to give you a little bit more flexibility so you don't have to do the tough task of developing all day, traveling 268 days out of the year. Now you can manage people. And then when you are a manager and you see people who are experiencing this level of burnout, you can then help them to create a lifestyle that's going to be more beneficial for them. Give them some balance or help them with their balance. You have to have a plan. It is important to have a plan on multiple facets, multiple aspects of it to increase your salary. You don't want to be doing this all day for the rest of your life. To gain new skills, to earn new skills. Have a plan. So let's listen to what new skills that she wanted, and let's see how she decided that she wanted to gain those new skills. Does the company allow for you to gain those new skills? Are you in a position where they're going to give you an opportunity to gain those new skills and learn those new skills? If the company doesn't, you have to figure it out on your own. Certifications, going back to school. We're going to all face roadblocks within our career. I faced many of them. I got to a certain level within management as a director, and I saw no place for me to move up in the company that I was at. I wanted to learn new skills. I went back and got my MBA. It's like, all right, well, I got my MBA now. I'm going to be making, or I'm going to be more valuable in the market. Maybe it's time for me to look for another job because I'm not going to get to that senior director role, but I want a VP role. So I went out there and created that situation for myself. Check internally first to see if you're going to be able to get those opportunities. If not, you have to make an ultimate decision. You have to have a plan. Let's see what they say.
Persevered out of a sense of loyalty. Her company had hired her with almost no experience after she immigrated to the US from Europe. But she volunteered to leave when the company downsized due to the pandemic and spent the next 6 months studying web development. Claire Shapiro joined Google straight out of college and quickly began pulling in a 6-figure salary. But after years in a number of different roles, she felt stuck in the tech bubble.
I heard from so many other people that had other diverse experiences outside of Google, that you can't really fully appreciate Google or you can't really understand without having this kind of other context. It did feel like, well, wow, if I don't leave now, I could stay here for the rest of my life.
In 2018, Shapiro took a 50% pay cut and moved to Belgium for a new position as a design consultant for the Board of Innovation.
I thought, I think the work that I am doing is not energizing me to the fullest, and I think I could probably find that potentially outside of Google. And I did.
The tech industry is built on entrepreneurs, so it's no surprise that many of those who leave their tech jobs do so to start their own endeavors. That was the case with Morgan DeBon.
I wanted to be an entrepreneur full time. I wanted to move fast and not get too attached to having, a nice 6-figure income.
I think she nailed it right there. Miss Morgan nailed it. She wanted to build wealth fast or increase her income fast and not get too attached to that salary. A lot of us get too attached to that salary, and what is end up happening is we end up having to stick with a company even though we are miserable in those positions as well too. We are miserable in these positions as well too. We feel like we have no way to move up. Make the money, but you have to have a plan. What is going to be next for you? Or is your plan to start a new company? I think Engineering Cannabis said that. Is your plan to start a new company? Do you have the skills to start your own company? Let's see this. Morgan actually had the skills to start her own company. Check this out, guys.
At such a young age.
Like Shapiro, Debon started working at Intuit right after college and quickly moved through the ranks. But working as a product manager, she noticed a blind spot in the products that she was helping to develop.
When we're looking at target users as a product manager, which was my first role, you create these user personas, right? And so you describe the person, you describe the target person, what do they look like, what do they eat, where do they shop, what problems are they solving, what technology do they use, because you really want to have empathy for the customer. And at the time, it felt like every customer's identity was all the same. It was these white people, middle class, and I'm like, wait, hold on. This can't be good. And there's clearly a disconnect here.
Debon said,
shout out to the super chat, blind guy, his wife, and their life. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat, guys. This is how many times I've heard the words plan and new skills within the last 10 minutes, important words. I appreciate you guys. I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for the support on the channel. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to Blind Guy, his wife, their life yet, guys, go ahead and subscribe over there. I can't wait to do a show with them. They're absolutely fantastic. We're gonna be talking about all kinds of cool things. Relationships, I love it. And I love to see beautiful couples working together, getting it done. It's beautiful. But what you heard here, guys, was this. She came into the tech world with a plan. She came into the tech world with a plan. She said, you know what? I don't want to get used to this tech money. I could be making, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. Let's learn these new skills. Let's learn the skills that they're going to teach me. And you know what? While I'm in this position, oh my God, I'm learning that there's a huge gap into the type of customers that are being served on the market here. There's a huge gap. This is how entrepreneurship is actually done. What Morgan did was she saw an opportunity based on where she was working before at Intuit and said, you know what? If we're serving only white middle-class people, I want to use my skills because I understand how to market towards people with user personas and so forth, and they're all the same. There's a market, there's a group of people that isn't being served. So let me learn these skills over here. I'll work corporate America and make as much money as possible, knowing I'm not going to be here forever. Okay, well, when I'm ready to take the next step, I'm going to go out and do my own thing. Exactly what engineering cannabis says. But what you end up finding out a lot of the times is this. You have people who don't have the skills, or are there for 1 year or 2 years, don't have a lot of credibility into their current position, saying that they're going to quit without a plan and they're going to start doing something else. That's not the way to do it. That's not the way to do it. You have to work. You have to figure it out. You have to climb the ladder a lot of the times. You have to put in the work initially in order for you to have any amount of success by yourself. Morgan ended up creating the company Blavity. Let's hear some more about it.
Says that she liked her job, but felt that she could make a bigger impact by founding her own company.
I don't think that there's any tech company.
Beautiful lady, by the way.
That's ever going to put the Black audience and the Black community and the Black customer base as their core demographic that they're solving for.
In 2014, she launched Blavity, a media company geared towards Black millennials. Is there anything that tech could have done to keep you specifically in tech?
I don't know that there's anything that could have kept me in working at a big tech company. As a young Black woman, I didn't want to fight so many fights for the rest of my life. I think that I've made a lot more progress outside of a corporate entity and been able to push a lot more tech companies to be more diverse and empowered Black people to be in the technology industry and be more equipped to be able to influence these product decisions. Definitely more than I could have been as being a group director or a VP at one of these tech companies.
Jack and Shapiro have also struck out on.
You heard it. You heard it. She had a plan. She leveraged the skills that she learned within corporate America, created her own company, wanted to make a bigger impact. Many of you want to make an impact as well. You have to have a plan. I think about the position that I'm in right now. I wish I would have had somebody like me that I was able to watch back when I was 24, 25, 26, 27. I've done well for myself. But if I was at 24, 25, 26, 27, being able to digest the content that I'm sharing, maybe Black Heights would have been created a little bit earlier. Maybe my real estate investments would have been more than what it is today. Maybe it would have been, instead of 1.4, maybe it would have been 3 million already. These are not mistakes that I've made in my life, but these are learning opportunities that we're looking to share of ways that you can get ahead earlier. Also, having a plan. What are you ultimately doing it for? You're not going to be in this position for forever. You're not going to be in this position forever. You shouldn't want to be in that position forever, especially entry level, development, support. All these jobs are worker bee jobs. These are people that have to lay brick by brick. We call them blue collar workers in the white collar jobs, in the white collar world, because you're doing a lot of work. And even though you're getting paid a lot of money, stressful. It's very, very stressful. You don't want to, you can't keep up with that sort of stuff. You can't keep up at all. Let's continue on.
Their own.
I actually spent the better part of 6 months developing my own kind of better coding bootcamp, Freemote, the freelance developer bootcamp, that solved a lot of the problems of the bootcamp I went to.
Although Shapiro still...
Another example, gain the skills working for a company like Uber, getting to the point where he's like, oh man, like I'm burning out. I have the skills. Now I'm going to found my own company. That's what it's ultimately about, guys. You want to work for yourself, or you want to have some investments to where you don't have to consistently do this all the time. If you're going to do it, it's a choice. Not that you have to do it. It's a choice. If I wanted to walk away from corporate America today, that's fine. My lifestyle will make a small hit. That's the reason why I invest in real estate. If I wanted to take a job that's only paying me $60,000 a year, my life is going to be, I'm only going to experience a small shift in my lifestyle. In my lifestyle, that is. But I have the choice. I have options. It feels good because then you can say, I'm not going to take this stuff. I don't have to listen to you guys. I don't have to do this. I'm not going to be on the road for 280 days out of the year. Oh, okay. Well, I can be like Professor Black Ops. Professor Black Ops says people, recruiters call him all the time. He says, you know what? I want to stay at home. I don't want to have to travel. I want to sit in my house. That's a choice. A lot of us don't or can't make that choice because we don't have a plan. We have to accept those roads. We have to continue to work because we're living in paycheck to paycheck. And then when we're fired or when we want to quit, we're not going about it having a plan. But let's continue on.
Who works on some projects with the Board of Innovation. She has also found her calling as a freelance product and business design consultant.
Right now I'm making less than I made at Google, but that's partially by design. I really am prioritizing not as much the salary side and more of the work-life balance and having experience side of it.
In an industry as competitive as tech, top talent is crucial, and those who leave are doggedly pursued to return.
Google does an excellent job of maintaining connection with people that leave. I had a dedicated recruiter that I could call at any time that checked in with me once a year, asked me how my job was going, asked me what I was doing.
You know, I get recruited still to come back into a big tech company, and I always just like, it makes me happy because I'm like, yes, keep trying to get me back into the system, but I'm busy.
If you didn't have this grand vision, do you...
So guys, check this out, right? Here's some game for you. I watch Anton Daniels as well. And he most recently took a job. And a lot of people were like, why is he taking a job? Because he's a millionaire and so forth. Well, if a company's going to come to you, giving you $1 million a year, wouldn't you take that as well? Look at these. These are founders of companies right now that have gone out and done their own thing or chose to leave the corporate America game. They're still getting tapped on the shoulders by recruiters because, one, they were pretty excellent at their roles. Two, they're valuable for the company that they're working for. And 3, the company would actually pay you more money than you probably were getting paid while you were there because your skills have increased. You're more valuable to them now. They weren't able to give you the experience probably working for the company at that point in time. Not at the pace that you wanted it to. My old company that I left calls me back all the time. Antoine, you want to come back? Antoine, you want to come back? No. Maybe one day. Who knows? The package is $1 million, maybe so. But I'm fine where I'm at. I don't have to worry about it. If I choose to leave tomorrow, I can leave. Think about that, guys. These are people with a plan. Now, they may not have started off with a plan. But they gain the skills. They climb the ranks. We're all going to experience this, especially if you're a graduate getting into the workforce. You're going to experience that burnout. You have to really understand what it is that you really want to do, what the ultimate outcome is 5 years, 10 years from now. Continue to work towards that. If it is to be a CEO of a company, go ahead, choose that route. Get out of that early entry-level position as fast as possible. So you're going to have to sharpen up your skills really well. Develop your hard skills and your soft skills more importantly, in order for you to climb. Get to that management position. Get to that director position. Get those stocks. Get that equity. Become valuable. Learn. Switch it up. Let's continue on.
You think that you would have left tech?
No. I don't think that I would have left tech if I didn't have a vision or didn't have an internal purpose that was driving me.
And going back is certainly tempting.
For me, I don't think that I would go back unless the sort of structure and the roles that I would want to have kind of came into Google. So who knows? If Google and I meet again, I won't be mad about it.
After a 6-month hiatus, Arsentieva got another tech job, this time as a software engineering manager at a company that helps match customers with car and health insurance. Do you feel like you are less burnt out from this job?
Honestly, no. I want to give the best I can, so I put a lot of hours, but it's never asked of me. Actually, in reality, my manager told me I should stop working so many hours. And
this is something else that I want you guys to learn as well, too. You know, I manage and have managed women as well, too. And I manage men. But you really have to, she's creating her own issue here. This is twice that she's been with the company and she wants to be really good at her job. I understand that. And we all want to be really good at our jobs. The people who really climb the ladder are the ones who put in the work. And they do it and they have a plan and trying to get from out of that role as quickly as possible. They want to get out of that role as quickly as possible, so they want to learn as much as they can so they can get out of that role as quickly as possible. She, on the other hand, experiencing burnout, takes it to another job, experience burnout. This is a personal issue with her. She's creating her own situation. Know your limits. Have boundaries. Set those boundaries with your job. Set those boundaries with your manager. If they're asking for too much, have those conversations. Have those conversations. I would say this, though. Early in your career, you might want to just suck it up. If you want to get to a certain point, you might want to just suck it up. Unless you are really have a really good relationship with your boss and you're really going through some serious issues, then you can have a conversation with them. Or if you feel like you're just getting burnt out, just go ahead and have a conversation. Most people will understand. Hey, I'm on the road for 200 days out of the year. I said that. They were like, Antoine, you got to finish the project. And I finished the project. But one thing that I did get from out of that was a President's Club trip. So it ended up working out. A nice bonus. Not only a nice bonus, a new position, they know, especially if you're a good worker and you come to them, they're going to be like, oh, we got to do something about this. But you have to speak up a lot of those times, guys. But if you are early on within your career and you haven't proven yourself yet, it's going to be very hard for you to get there, guys. It's going to be very hard for you to complain. But the whole point of me stopping on her was a lot of times we end up creating our own situation. Know your limits, know your boundaries. If you're going to work from 8 to 10 at night, that's pretty difficult. That's pretty difficult. How can you not burn out if you're going to just do that nonstop every day of the week? That doesn't make any sense. I want to be good at my job. Yes, we could be good at a job, but there's going to be other ways that you become good at your job as well, too, without having to work 12 hours a day. That's to work smarter, not harder. And those soft skills will really help.
And take it easy, and because they want me for the long run, not for me to get burned out again.
But stress and its impact on mental and physical well-being isn't unique to the tech industry. A 2021 survey of 1,500 workers from different industry sectors found that 52% of the respondents are experiencing burnout. Still, the restrictions of the past year have given a lot of young tech workers the time to think.
I think it's really hard to make this transition into a role where if there aren't the perks and the money is very different. But I think now now that they've been away from it for a year, that it's an easier transition.
For those in tech wondering if they should quit their jobs, Jack says it might be worth the risk.
If you're someone in tech, then you have skills that are just intrinsically valuable. You can always get back and do it again.
It might be worth the risk. That is absolutely right. It might be worth the risk. But then again, if you're just somebody who has a year or 2 years of experience, it may not be worth the risk. You got to have a plan. That's the whole ultimate point of this one today, guys, is you have to have a plan. And now we're going to get into the other part of this conversation, guys. We're going to get into the other part of this conversation. Before we do that, I'm going to jump over to the chat, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Where is my article? There we go. We're going to do this over here. Do that. Look at that. Okay. Let's go to desktop capture. Uh-oh. Quitting my job this week without another one lined up. Oh, gosh. Don't do it. Don't do it. There's people that are quitting their jobs without anyone or another job lined up, guys. And we're going to get into this one as well. But let me jump over to the chat. I got to get I want to hear what you guys have to say about this one. Well, about what we just reviewed. And I have to get back over here. I want to make sure, because you guys are so awesome and you have the game. Okay, let's go here. Engineering Cannabis says experiences is key to learn to identify and solve big problems with your own tech company. Absolutely. Absolutely. Ingrid Jarrett says, well done to this young lady. She saw a need and she went out and met that need. Absolutely. Blind guy is why their life says Professor Black Ops can opt out. Yes, he can. That's the whole point. He has the experience. He can opt out on anything. He can choose whether he wants to work or not. That's where we want to be ultimately within our career, having that choice. It's beautiful. And most people, believe it or not, they're going to choose to work. We just did a reorganization in the company that I work for. And my boss now was a peer of mine. And he makes, he's been in sales for like the last 30 years. And he's done very well for himself. And he's at that point in time where he just took this because he said, you know what, I'm going to just do this on a 2-year contract. They're paying me a whole crap of money. I retired when I was 44, and I decided I wanted to come back because my wife hated me around the house. So he came back. Then he left again when he was 50. Did it for 6 months, thought he can surf in San Diego. He needed something else to do. So he came back. The money is there. They're paying you well. This is extra money that you can stack in the bank for your grandkids, your kids, to buy more real estate, to invest in the companies that you want to start one day in the future that you haven't thought about. Something to keep you busy, something to keep you occupied, something to keep you giving back to people, because a lot of us want to give back. We just don't know how. And a lot of us can't do it because we can't afford, we don't have the time to do it. Well, that's what money does. It allows you, it's a resource that allows you to make the ultimate decisions of what you want to invest your time in. That's why I always stress these six-figure jobs and these degrees that are worth it, because you can eventually make a choice in your life on what you want to do or not. And when you have resources like money, you can ultimately say yes or ultimately say no. Where a lot of us are in that position right now where we all we have to say is yes. I have to take this. I've created a lifestyle for myself to where I have to take a job. And I can't quit, although I hate my boss. I can't quit because I have a mortgage on my house. I love that Morgan said she didn't want to be in the tech field for a long time because they know they're going to give it. She knows that she knows that they're going to continue to throw money at her, and she didn't want her lifestyle to change because of that. One of the best things that I did going into sales, guys, was invest every single dollar above my normal salary into real estate. Almost like becoming a millionaire overnight. Now I have the option to choose if I want to work for the company or not, or if I want to just relax for a good year if I wanted to. It's pretty awesome. Let's continue to go on to the chat. Ingrid Jarrett says, I love Anton Daniels. Kev Tech IT Support says, yep. King Jaffe, Black Eyes telling the truth on learning new skills. King Jaffe, skills I meant. Yes, I got it. Minji's in the house. What's up, Minji? I hope you're all well, brother. Know your limits and don't take work home with you. That's another good point, Kev Tech IT Support. That is a very good point. Know your limits. Establish those boundaries. You have to have them with your employee. You have to have them with your relationships that you have. Otherwise, people are going to take. And a lot of us just don't speak up. A lot of us don't understand how to create those boundaries. That's why we find ourselves in a position of being the person that burns out or being taken advantage of, because we don't talk a lot of the times. We are afraid to communicate. Very good point, sir. 227 says, I realize that it's important to have a vision and a plan, a 1, 5, 10 year plan. Absolutely, brother. Kev Tech IT Support says, why would you leave a job without having a new job first? LOL, doesn't make sense. Hey, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that because we have people that are quitting their jobs without another one lined up. I think you guys saw that previous video that I did a couple weeks ago or a week ago, where the sociology major had a job, graduated college from the University of New Mexico, had a little bit of savings, quit his job right before COVID happened. He wasn't able to find a job for months. No insurance, living off his girlfriend's paycheck. She stayed with him, lucky. You better go out there and marry her, because a lot of women would not have allowed that to happen. Dwindling down his savings, setting himself back for years. Then he had to end up moving to San Marcos here in Texas, just south of Austin, and taking another job. He figured it out that he had to leave where he was at. He figured it out that he had to start networking. Dude said he sent over 1,500 applications. How do you do that? You're applying the wrong way. If you guys haven't had a chance to watch that live stream, go and check that one out as well too. But let's talk about this one right here. We're going to get on this one right here, guys. People are quitting their jobs without having one lined up. And I'm going to go through the highlights of this article. I'm not going to go through the majority of it. So we'll start off with the recent piece of it. This is the brand new article from September 8th, less than a month out. In the recent months, as the economy has sprung back to life, Americans have been quitting their jobs in record numbers. More than 3.6 million people quit in April, May, and June, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Mostly that's a good thing, but people clearly feel confident enough in both the job market and their personal finance to go looking for better opportunities. Job openings now outnumber available workers, and employers are desperately trying to fill roles by increasing wages and throwing huge perks at job candidates. People tap me on the shoulder all the time if you have those skills. And as I recently wrote, Americans actually have more in savings now than they did before the pandemic, thanks to the part of, stimulus checks and unemployment aid and so forth. But that stuff has stopped. That stuff has stopped. The Great Resignation, as it's called, may also contain a generational disaster in the making. As of June, according to the job data, 942,000 of those who quit their jobs hadn't taken another position yet. They haven't taken another position yet. We don't know why. Maybe they're waiting for something better to come. Or maybe they're searching, or they're not searching at all, choosing to instead take some time off to recuperate from the pandemic's emotional toll or to pursue a long-held dream. But for millennials, the largest generation in American history, I'm a millennial, by the way, the financial consequences of even a brief stint of unemployment could compound earlier misfortunes they're still grappling with. You got people who aren't returning to work. I think the majority of people want to return to work. They don't have the skills. They don't have the skills. I did a live stream before on how over 50% of the workforce by 2030 needs to be reskilled. Over 50% of the workforce, world population workforce, needs to be reskilled by 2030. Tech is the place to be. A lot of these jobs, like Dr. Patrick Dick says, are being automated. So when people can't find jobs or aren't finding jobs, a lot of it's because they don't have the resumes and they don't have the skills to list on their resume and get the job. And what I'm also seeing is this, and this is something that I'm personally seeing here. They don't know how to search. They don't know how to search. They're not using their career services if they went to college. They're not using LinkedIn. They're not networking with people. They don't know how. They don't know how to do it, guys. And you already know, millennials, we got screwed by the 2008 financial disaster. So out of all the cohorts, we are 11% less likely, or we're 11% less wealthy than the majority of cohorts that exist out there. The baby boomers specifically, or the Gen X who are prior, before us. Baby boomers are the still richest cohort that exists to this day. And we make up the large percentage of people in a population, the millennials. However, we're 11% less wealthy because the majority of us graduated at a time during the financial crisis. So we didn't get an opportunity. We missed 3 or 4 or 5 years, some of us, on building wealth, earning a high salary, climbing the corporate ladder. So check this out, what people are doing, guys. If you aren't if you don't have a job lined up, and you already know that you don't have a lot of money. We are that cohort that don't have a lot of money. What is the point of quitting your job when you don't have one lined up and you don't have any money to fall back on? And if you did have money to fall back on, you're going to be depleting that. Because you know what, guys? According to the data, it takes 5 months to get a job these days. 5 months. Unless you're going working for Uber or McDonald's and get your hustle on. But don't think that you're going to quit your job and find one tomorrow. Many of us can. Many of us have a network that we can pretty much be hired tomorrow because we know the game. We've leveraged LinkedIn. We've worked hard. We have people that can vouch for us. But many of you who don't have the experience, quit your job. You don't have people that you can call on. You don't have anything that you can fall back on. Now you got to go back home with your mama. No, Antoine didn't say that. Now you have to live back at home with your mama. Guys, you got to have a plan. You have to have a plan. Just winging it won't work. Just winging it will not work, guys. There are plenty of times, of course, when it's inappropriate or even imperative to leave a job without another one lined up. Sticking it out in a toxic work environment, for example, can do serious damage to your mental and emotional well-being. Absolutely. Kev Tech said that. And if you figure out that your talent or passion lies elsewhere, it can sometimes require taking a leap of faith to get where you want to go. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You may have the talent and so forth, but how do you know you have that talent? You haven't really put in the work yet. I'm coming across young males that are quitting their job thinking that they can start their entrepreneurship journey in the worst pandemic that we've experienced in our lifetime. Now they're asking for certifications. What certifications to get? Now they're afraid because they haven't been able to get a job within the first month or second month or third month. Then you start to peel back the onion. What are you doing to get the jobs? They're not using LinkedIn. They're not leveraging the network. They're watching these big booty girls. They're watching content that's hurting them versus helping. Priority is to write no plans. You can't just wing it, guys. You can't just wing it. And if you figure out that your passion or your talent lies elsewhere, it can sometimes require taking a leap of faith. And I'm going to tell you like this, guys. You don't know you have a passion for something. That's what people always, I'm a firm believer of this, guys. You don't know you have a passion unless you've done something for a long enough. I don't think anybody just understands they have a passion. A lot of people say, follow your passion. I don't believe in that. I must say that. I don't believe in it. My passion was something that was created because I was good at it and I put in the work at it. And it became my passion. It was something that I became good at over time because I put in the work towards it and it became my passion. And it became an even better passion because I can make money off of it. A lot of people are being told to follow your passion, and that's why you end up majoring in things like music, in theater. And there's nothing wrong with those majors, except it's very hard for you to make a living for yourself. It's very difficult for you to make a living for yourself. It's very difficult to make it with a degree in theater, in art, in drama, in sociology. Good people. Bad decisions. Comes down to planning. Let's continue on. But for whatever reason, for your departure, it is almost always a bad idea to make a big financial change in your life without having a clear plan to deal with it. And this is from a financial planner. There's a caution to millennials. A caution to millennials whose only plan consists of look for another job. What they end up finding, what they may find out is that they're going to be in more financial troubles quitting your job without having something lined up. And if you're going to quit, you better have a plan. And here's a plan that they're describing here. And this is a 3-part plan, guys. You need a plan A, a fallback job, which is the ideal version for you. Maybe something that you're going to be getting paid even more. You need a plan B. You need a plan B. And a plan B needs to be a contingency for plan B. So for instance, let's just say this, right? You got 3 months of savings to hold you over and you quit your job. Your plan A, you land a job earning the same income within 3 months, but you've already depleted your savings, so you're behind. That's the best case plan. But you've chewed up your savings already. You basically hitting a reset on your financial life for 3 years. I typically say we hit the reset every time we have a kid. No, you hit the reset when you make bad decisions like this. Quitting your job without having a plan and quitting your job without having something already lined up. 3 months savings, you quit your job. Oh man, I'm gonna get a job in 3 months. Oh, I'm just so awesome. Best case scenario, you find one in 3 months, but you still depleted your 3 months of savings that you had. You're behind. You find a job right away. You have your 3 months of savings still in your pocket. You have something lined up. Let's say it takes you 5 months to find a job and you have 3 months of savings. Uh-oh. You go through your 3 months, can't find a job. Now you got to start liquidating. You got to sell your house. You have to move in with your mama. No girl's going to want to date you now. Now you're going to be blaming it on the women. It ain't women's fault. I wouldn't follow you. You don't have a plan. That's why a lot of people are having issues right now with dating, because they don't have a plan and nobody believes in them. Just like I said it last night about the cup situation. The coffee cup looks really good on the shelf, but soon somebody walks past it. They look at the price and they say, Then they look very close and that cup has spots on it. These are the same people who don't have a plan. They don't have a plan. Let's talk about this, guys. How long can Americans last without a paycheck? 22% can only last less than a month because the majority of people in the United States are living paycheck to paycheck. I would hope if you're living paycheck to paycheck that you don't decide to quit your job emotionally, because you're going to be set. You're going to be hitting the reset on your life, on your financial position. Less than a month, 22%. That's the majority of people up here. You got 9% at a month. They can last a month. You got 12% that can last 2 months. You got 16% that can last 3 months. But as you see, it goes downhill 4 months. If you can't get a job within that, after 3 months, it starts to get lower. It's hard. Nearly 60% of Americans could not go without a regular paycheck for more than 3 months. If you thinking about quitting your job, you better have something lined up, guys. Don't listen to this stuff that people are telling you online, thinking that they're quitting and they're able to go into the market and make it as an entrepreneur. It's a lie. It takes most people 7 years to even turn a profit as an entrepreneur. You aren't them. Don't listen to people that say they don't go to college. Don't listen to them. You are being bamboozled if you're listening. You're not going to have insurance if you quit. You might go out there and tear your Achilles like I did. You might think that you're still a young fella, can play basketball, letting out some stress, thinking you got some time that you can, I'll get that job because I'm awesome. I'll get that job because I'm awesome. I'm going to just quit. I'm sick of my manager. I'm sick of those guys. I'm going to quit. I'll find something tomorrow. No, you don't have to network. No, you really don't have the skills. You think that your cup is beautiful, but as soon as people look at it, they're going to say, nope, there's holes in there. That cup has spots on it. Don't do it. You tear your Achilles, you don't have insurance. That's going to be an expensive bill. That's going to be an expensive bill. You're going to cripple yourself for the rest of your life because you're not going to be able to get the surgery. And there's non-operational routes that you can go, but it's still going to cost you a lot of money because the doctor is going to be looking at you like, I don't care. I want my money. Don't do it. Don't do it, guys. The Great Resignation is just starting. You are hearing about it now. And here's the thing too. A lot of people don't take into consideration data related to your ethnicity. They are already saying that blacks and Latinos are having a difficult time with economic inequalities. We already know that. Some of us do. You quit your job following the people that we just saw on CNBC. The majority of them were white. You're not them. You're not them. I used that example of the previous brother who quit his job a couple weeks ago. He thought he had the privilege himself. And he was a white guy. And it took him months. His girlfriend had to take care of everything. It's not a good look, guys. It's difficult. It's not as easy as you think unless you are really, really connected with good people. And in order for you to be connected with good people, you have to have a good set of skills. And soft skills are important. Have a plan. Have a plan, guys. Otherwise, you're going to be back at home living with your moms. Let me jump over to the chat. Oh, gosh. I'm having fun on this one, guys. Oh, gosh. Blind guy, his wife, their life says, yep, the article says it best. People feel confident enough to leave these jobs. Yes, they do. They feel confident enough. They're all confident walking around here like, oh, I'm the best thing ever. And a lot of these people, they haven't really gone and done much within their career. I'm going to just quit my job. The real world hits them and smacks them in the face. And you know what happens? They depleted their savings account. They have to go back eating ramen and noodles. They have to go back and move with the moms. They're lost. They're frantic. Oh my God, I can't get back to the workforce. I'm getting rejected. I'm getting rejected. Nobody's calling me back. I got to go get some certifications. I got to reskill. I have to do all this stuff. And they're frantic. They can't figure it out. And when you become frantic, you lack clarity. Oh, you know what you need to do. But you're pressing. Then you call Black Heights. Then you book a coaching session. And we reverse engineer it, and you figure it out. Guys, by the way, if you're going through this situation, I'm not making fun of it. I'm not making a lot of it. What we're doing is educating ourselves to make sure that we don't make these same mistakes. This is for me being in inner circles, hearing about this, reading articles like this, and people are making these mistakes. I would say if you are going through this right now, you have those roadblocks. You can't seem to break free. You don't know what it is that you need to do in order for you to find that job, and you've done that and you made mistakes, or you were looking to find another job. Book a coaching session. Join the Patreon. We got a lot of people like Kev Tech, IT Support, Blind Guy and his wife. These are people that are in the network that can help. And I may not have to answer, but I'll send them over to them. Let's continue on, guys. Let me. Kev Tech IT Support says your resume sucks. No one will call you. Yes, a lot of people do. They don't know about resumes. They don't know what their resume is supposed to look like. Kev Tech IT Support. They haven't been through it. They're still using their college resume. King Jaffe says, I've graduated in 2010 while working in the airport. It sucked. Yeah, I bet. Kev Tech IT Support says that networking piece is super important. Sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know. Absolutely. That is it. The majority of it is, I would say 80% is not what you know, it's who you know. We saw an example of this with Brother Gabe on this channel. Brother Gabe and Michael Ojo, Houston Phenom, we're just chatting it up, live stream a week ago. We got people in positions of power working for some of the biggest companies. If you network with them, they're going to be willing to help you out. Hey man, and when you graduate, if you're looking for a role, just shoot me your resume. That's how it's done. And it's our responsibility too to get to people positions of power to where we can help the younger generation that's coming out of college right now. That's our responsibility as well too, which is another reason why you need to have a plan. You come in as a developer, don't think it's just for you to make the money and do the things that you want to do. That's why I encourage people to climb the ladder, because you're able to help other people. You have no idea how many people I've helped within their careers. If Steven Stern, if you're watching this one, brother, and you want to come on the chat, shoot me a text message and I'll have you come in and tell your story. I've hired so many brothers and sisters within my career, giving them opportunities. I've hired a lot of people. And the only way that you can even influence decisions like that is by getting to positions of power in these companies. Starting your own company. Building your resources where you can help people. Another reason why I like Anton Daniels is because he pours into people with resources. Going to people's YouTube channel, dropping them $50 to keep going. That's how things come back to you tenfold as well too, guys. Let me continue on. Gabe A say a job is one of the best forms of leverage you can get. Or let me repeat that. A job is one of the best forms of leverage you can use to get another job. Why get rid of that? Absolutely. 100%. 100%, Gabe. Use it as leverage. Show them that other offer that you have. If you don't have one, you have to take it. They're going to lowball you a lot of the times too because you can't negotiate. You can't negotiate, but you have, and the reason why you can't negotiate because you got that car note. You have that rent due. You have that mortgage due, but you quitting. You quitting before you have something lined up. Doesn't make any sense. It's a bad mistake. Ali Josh says, just finished watching 3 IG models 10 minutes ago. See? Hey, man. Hey. Just make sure you balance it, Ali Josh. I've done mock interviews as well as speaking to subject matter experts in the technology space. I did mock interview yesterday in students. We did tech training and soft skills. Good stuff, Kev Tech. Black Tech Ohead says, facts, follow your passion is the worst advice you can give to a young person. Absolutely. Balti says, agreed. Passion comes after hard work, diligent work. I agree. Do what you like. Do what makes you happy. Well, people are telling people all the time and people are getting it twisted. Follow your passion. Oh, my passion is to paint. There's no money in that because nobody's going to spend the money to buy that painting if you aren't a reputable artist. Doesn't work that way, guys. Oh, we got a super chat for Lucifer. Let me let me put that one on the screen. Oh gosh. Let me make sure I get the let me do this. 1 second. I gotta get to the super chats. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. What did he say? 100. Better hold on to that job and start a cash flow recurrent asset business. 100%. 100%. You better hold on to that job, guys. Hold on to that job. Start a business cash flow. And I say this all the time. It's real estate, guys. It's real estate. Get your money right. Save that money. Get your money right. The great resignation. Let's start documenting so we can become some historians coining this phrase accurately. I love it. You have to have a plan. Let me get to here. King Jack says a lot of YouTube hustlers. Oh my God, there's YouTube hustlers that exist out here, man. I got one of my subscribers that thought YouTube was easy. He's done. He called it quits. It's a long game, guys. Anything in life is a long game. It doesn't come easy unless you're going to just start driving Uber. And that's fine. You can go out there and do that, but everybody can. Prior planning prevents poor performance, Black Tech Old Head says. Engel Jarrett says, Dave Ramsey suggests that you have 3 to 6 months of emergency funds. I suggest at least a year and a half. Oh, that's absolutely, I would say, Ingrid, you're absolutely right. But that's hard for a lot of people to do. It's very hard for a lot of people to do, to have a full year of savings. You're not going to take Dave Ramsey or leave it. But I would say you're absolutely right. You want to get to that point to where if the worst happens, you're good. You're good. And a lot of that is not just a job, it's making sure that you have cash flowing assets like my brother Lucifer just said. Have those cash flowing assets to where you don't have to worry about it. You have money coming in. That's why I'm a big fan of real estate, guys. 227 said, my cousin is 36 and always quits. His wife and kid believes he'll make it big somehow and has no real skills. I don't know, man. See, we have other, see, I'm not the only one that's seeing it. Kev Tech says, it really hits you in the face when you realize that you need to take charge of your life and not make stupid decisions. It's true. And last night's conversation, guys, well, I went in last night about the difference between a man and a boy. And my definition of a man and a man is well, this is what I used last night. Somebody who takes full responsibility for their achievements as well as their failures. Somebody who chooses simplicity in their lives. Life is simple for them. And they don't have a tolerance for foolishness. They don't have a tolerance for foolishness. Somebody who values relationships, core relationships, relationships with your wife, relationships with the kids, relationships with your parents, strong core relationships. When you find people who are quitting jobs with no plan, knowing how much they impact other people, and if they're males, that's what they are. They're boys. They're boys. Yeah, I'm going to say it. The boys. Ingrid Jarrett says, it's unwise to quit your job if financially you're not secure. I agree. BX Native says, salute. Coming for MTR channel. Great talk you had on Monday. I appreciate you, BX Native. Thank you for joining us, man. I appreciate you, Lucifer. I love real estate. I have a lot of commercial property and land nowadays. Hey, man, that's how you become a millionaire. That's how I became a millionaire, guys. I don't have commercial. I'm not on the commercial side. I'm all residential. 11 properties and growing. That's how you do it. KevTech IT Support says, need passive income while working a full-time job. Always need a plan B, just in case. I agree, which is the reason why I preach the motto that I've successfully been able to recreate. Climb the ladder, make as much money as possible, grow your income, leverage that money to invest, to not pay as much taxes, start a corporation, start a business. Black Heights, that's my business. Initially it was like, okay, well, I have to figure out a way how I can stop giving Uncle Sam all my money. Well, I need to invest in something that's going to be my long term. I started that plan in 2018. Now we're a 6-figure business now. Coaching, doing things that I love, talking to you guys. I have a passion for this, if you guys can't tell. I have a passion for giving back, investing in real estate. A lot of the women that rent from me are single moms, and I'm able to provide them a roof over their head that's a quality product that I would live in. My houses are expensive. I would not live, they're not expensive, but they are very nice. And I would not buy a house that I wouldn't live in. That's how you give back to people. People don't tell you guys this stuff. That's how you do good for people. Okay, she may have a low credit score. You know what? The fact that I work with a whole bunch of people and I have my own property manager and my whole team, I can make the ultimate decision. I can say no. I can say yes. That's power, guys. That's when you have your money right. That's when you have resources. You can influence a lot of people, getting people hired into companies, making sure they have a roof over their head, giving back to people. All characteristics of a high value man. None of that stuff is flashy. None of it is flashy at all. We don't ride around here in Bugattis and stuff like that. That's for the entertainers. And half of the stuff that they own or they have, they don't own it. And they don't have a purpose for owning it or just having it in general. We do this stuff because we want to leave a legacy behind. We want to impact people. We want to make the culture better. We want to make people better. We want to improve people's lives. It's important, guys. It's important. Linrad Technologies to stack your paper, get your credit right. Then leverage zero interest rates, cards, and cash to build your business instead of going to Cancun. You know what, Linrad? That is absolutely right. But I would say this. We have to be careful with just telling people to use cards and so forth. Because people aren't financially responsible. And what I'm learning is that you and me, we're probably sitting in here having a conversation. I would agree with you 100% because we'll probably be on the same page. But we just have to watch what we say to certain people because a lot of conversations that you and I would probably have sitting across from each other aren't the norm that we're finding out. They aren't the normal conversations that people typically have. So we have to really be careful of how we explain things. And Credit cards are great for people who know how to use them, but they are terrible for people who are irresponsible. They're absolutely terrible. But you're right. You're absolutely right, my brother. King Jaffa said, wait, what? King Jaffa said, being homeless in 2015 was my rude awakening to never let it happen again. Been focused ever since. Man, that could be tough, man. Courtney Albert says, residual income, absolutely. Oh, we got another millionaire in the house. Lucifer says, my net worth will be 1.2 million once I get the Dollar General to build on my 2-acre commercial lot. Look at that. Oh, you got another one that's in the house, one in the making. Facts, I have 4 single mothers that have Section 8 vouchers. They want to leave because they told me they hate apartment living. Absolutely. Kev, I tech, too many people make money but don't know how to make investments. Need to know how to use your money correctly. Absolutely, guys. Abso-freaking-lutely. You have to make the money, but you have to learn how to use the money so that you can use it as a resource to help people and to also grow your money, guys. You don't want to be in a position where you are a developer who has to quit because you have to work and travel 268 days out of the year. Like my man Aaron on the show that we just watched. Getting burned out, or the lady. Use your money wisely, invest, do it early. Don't buy that car. She don't love you anyway. You don't know what love is, man. JT Coins, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. Thank you so much for the super chat. Let me get you on the screen, man. Let me get you on the screen, JT. I wanted to just drop another one, guys. We having fun. Oh, gosh. We're having fun. Ingrid says, the pandemic made it crystal clear why having an emergency fund is crucial. We have to make the sacrifice early and get that emergency fund in place. Yes, it's hard, but it must be done. You're absolutely right. That's why there are so many homeless people taking over camps in Austin, California, smelling like pee. These guys had no plan. A lot of these people are college educated too. Had no plan. Had no plan. You don't want to end up like that. You don't want to end up like that. Being homeless is not, whew, I wouldn't want to live like that. I would not want to live like that. Guys, those, you know what? Let me keep rocking. Let me keep rocking, man. Let me give you guys something else. I'm having fun right now. I appreciate you, JT Coins. Thank you so much for the super chat again. All right. So I got one more article, which proves me and Lucifer's point here. That name, Lucifer. That name. Oh, gosh. Let's get this one going. Check the man out here. An entrepreneur earning thousands every month in passive income from real estate explains the steps he took to get started. Let's get here, guys, because this is going to resonate with you. Let's keep going. Benny Sunni has long wanted to free up his time to focus on charity work. Look what it says. He's long wanted to free up his time to focus on his charity work. He worked tirelessly for years to save enough to buy rental properties that bring in passive income. He now owns 7 properties in Canada, which bring in 3,600 Canadian dollars a month in net profit. Check it out. When he was 27, all he wanted to do was charity work. That was his passion. You have to work towards your passion, guys. You have to work towards your passion. Your passion isn't going to pay you right away. You have to work towards it. All he wanted to do was help with charity, and he wanted to get into nonprofits. It was the only thing that he knew he wanted to do. He had a passion for it, but you know what? He couldn't do that unless he made money. Originally from India, he moved to Canada in 2009 as an international student and studied marketing. In 5 years, between arriving in North America and realizing he wanted to work for some kind of charitable organization, he accomplished a lot professionally. He climbed the ladder, guys. He suffered like many of us do to get to that six-figure salary and more. He suffered. He put in the work. He put in the work. He had a career in advertising and marketing, working for both small companies and large corporations, even building up his own agency as well. But at 27, he made a promise to himself. I decided I would resign at 35 so I can dedicate 50% of my time to nonprofit. How in the world are you going to be able to dedicate 50% of your time if you're not making the right investments starting today? Have a plan. This is a plan. At 27, he said, you know what? I have a, 8-year plan. By the time that I'm 35, I want to dedicate 50% of my time to a nonprofit, he says. The other 50%, I'll do something where I can still make money, but I'm not bound to it. That's where you know you're rich. You don't have to be a billionaire. You can have 1 million. But the fact of the matter is you have resources and you can choose what to do with your time. That's when you're really rich. Recently turning 35, soon he has hit this goal. He can comfortably leave behind this old job and dedicate more of his time towards a charity he's building. But it's not just saved money that's allowing him to do so. It's also the significant stream of passive income that he's built for himself. In 2018, he started the same year that I started. He started to invest in real estate. He now owns 7 different properties that bring in steady, reoccurring income each month. Still buying property is not an overnight decision. It took time to save his initial down payment and strategic choices to maximize his investments. Look how he did it. He talks about it. He realized that real estate would help with him. He realized that real estate would help him reach his financial goals faster than investing in other options. He's from India. So what he was doing was he was making a whole bunch of money, sending it to India, getting a 7 to 8% return. But he realized that's a good plan, but there's a better plan: real estate. The majority of millionaires that exist in the United States or the world are real estate investors. They've invested in real estate. Similar to a term deposit or a certificate deposit, he was enticed to by the high interest rates that on specialty accounts in India. In this case, it was 7 to 8%. My focus was make money, send money overseas, make sure that I keep getting the 7 to 8% returns, he explains. But soon he realized that he could reach his goal more productively through real estate. And I realized that the appreciation of the property is much more. Not only are you gaining equity, but you're also gaining the appreciation on the asset. How did he do it? He lived frugally while increasing his income. He sacrificed. He didn't go out there and buy that Benz, stunting on people when you know you don't have the money. He said, you know what? I got to do this. So I got to save. I'm going to live with roommates. He lived with roommates, although he can afford to live alone. He cut his expenses. He almost worked constantly for years. Outside of his job in advertising and marketing, he spent his weekends doing telecom and internet sales. That's hustling, guys. Just say if you're not working 60 hours a week, you ain't doing anything. You're not trying to get ahead. This guy worked Monday through Friday, spent his weekends doing telecom sales to stack that paper so that he can put that towards other investments, real estate. My expenses have to be paid by my job I'm doing on the weekends. Check that out. His motto was this: my expenses have to be paid by the job I'm doing on the weekends. So if he was only bringing in $2,000 a month from the job that he did on the weekends, he made sure that his expenses were that. I don't live that way. I have a family. But for many of you, you don't have a family. And at one point in time, I didn't have a family. And I wish I would have known this. Instead of having one in front of that millionaire status, it could have been 3, could have been 4, could have been 5, it could have been 10, could have been Grant Cardone by this time. Not to say I won't get there. I'm only 37, but this guy has this mentality at 27. And some of you who are watching this channel is younger than he is at this point. The game is here. You have to focus on it. He made sure that his weekend job covered those expenses. Sony was able to set aside nearly everything from his corporate job, where he earned over 100,000 Canadian dollars in a year, saving about 50 or 5,000 to 6,000 a month for this. Then he went into putting down smaller down payments on his properties, and he began to build wealth. Now he's renting out his properties and he's making over $3,600 in profit from or 3,600 Canadian dollars a month from his rental properties, giving him the time to free up 50% of his time on charity and so forth. By the time that I turned 38, I wanted to make sure that my real estate company is automated. He wants to make sure that his reoccurring income, he doesn't have to touch and it's hands off. I'm already there. Except emails and stuff like that. Property manager having to call me. But the fact of the matter is, another person who's done it. Have a goal, have a plan. On a personal side, I want to get at least 10 properties in the next 2 years. It's how you do it, guys. It's how you do it. I wanted to share that with you because it all goes into the conversation of having a plan. You have to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you're planning to fail. You don't have a plan, you're screwing yourself. Let's jump over to the chat. King Jaffe said, I'm loving this conversation. King Jaffe says, homeless population in New York, Houston, California, terrible. These cities now they smell horrible. They absolutely smell horrible. 227 says, Antoine is snapping today. No, I'm just having some fun, man. I'm just having some fun, you guys. That's all. I'm having some fun. I'm enjoying the conversation. What I've been exposed to just some stuff that I find to be very interesting, and I just want to talk about it. That's it. Lucifer says, facts, America is for sale. I took advantage of that since 1998, man. You are absolutely right. Everything in America is for sale, even people. It's unfortunate to say it. Most people are being barred every single day, and we are all part of that. When you don't have the time to do the things that you want to do, and you can't say no, you are bought. It's just the reality of it. The majority of us are. Sorry. It's facts. JT Cohen says, I appreciate this information. Ingrid says, you have to do, blind guy, his wife, their life says, Black Height said, memorable words, homeless folks taking over tent city, smelling like, oh gosh. Oh gosh. And they be looking crazy too, man. I'm sorry. I feel bad. I feel bad. I do. I was driving in my car the other day, leaving PT. I was heading down Mopac, and under one of these bridges, man, you got a homeless camp. And this lady was just walking, and she was just, it looked like she wanted to fight cars, man. There's no way you're going to win against a car. There's just no way. These people are homeless. They're in bad positions. Ingrid says, you have to do what you have to do before you can do what you want to do. Oh, say it again, Ingrid. Say it again. You have to do what you have to do before you can do what you want to do. That is absolutely the truth. Preaching. I appreciate you, Lucifer, again, man. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. You've been generous today. I appreciate you, sir. Kev Tech says, always have a plan. 227 says, if you don't have a plan, you're planning to fail. Big facts. Professor Black Ops in the house. What is up, brother? We've been talking about you already today, man. I'm glad you joined us today, man. Courtney Albert says, implement a system and go for it. JT Cohen says, yes, you're cooking from the, you're still cooking from the happy hour session yesterday. That was fun, guys. That was fun. King Jaffe says, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, said it best. Everybody has a price. That's right. Ted DiBiase, man, that was the man right there. I love this suit jackets, man. Money, 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 money. Money. 227, I gotta check out yesterday's stream. JT Cohen. It was fun, man. It was happy hour. It was guy talk. We had it that night over a glass of wine and so forth. But guys, I just wanted to have this show today. I wanted to have this show today to drop in, to show some love. I appreciate you guys so much for the support that you guys have constantly given me. I love to share my knowledge, my experiences, other people's experiences, have intelligent conversations that's going to make us better, that's going to put us in a position where we can win. No more excuses. The information is out there. It's what we choose to do with that information. A lot of times, this stuff right here doesn't get views. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry at all, because you have the information that exists out there. You got the Anton Daniels. You got the MTRs. You have Professor Black Ops. You have Kev Tech IT support. You have a whole bunch of people giving some good game. Showing you the right way to do it. Are you going to follow? Don't follow these people that says you should be resigning without a job. They don't look like you. You don't have their rights. And even for them who's following this stuff, you saw from the prior video that I did a couple weeks ago, they don't even have those rights. Oh, gosh. Oh, we're having fun. People think they have the privilege, but unfortunately, when the country can be bought, nobody has a privilege. It's about having the resources to do whatever you want to do, how you want to do it. And when you have the resources to do it, you can make your own decisions. That's game. You have your right to your own time. You can say no. That's game. What y'all guys think about that, man? Y'all liking this? Y'all liking this? Let me hit restart on this one again. Let me shout out the crew again. I appreciate you guys for dropping with me. I think I've been on for about 2 hours now, guys. I have to find something to do for the rest of the day. I was gonna go to the gun range, but I'm not gonna do that until tomorrow. Lucifer said hard assets. You gotta get that hard assets, man. Something that you can physically see or touch. Now, I must say this. I'm in the crypto game as well, so I believe in those assets as well, man. But certain ones. Certain ones. And when you guys join the Patreon, when I start to build that, we're building it now. So go ahead and join the Patreon, guys. We'll get into that conversation. We'll get into those conversations. That's the kind of content that I'm gonna be bringing over to the Patreon. How I invest, types of investments, relationships, the things that really do matter. Saturday, guys. Corey says, I'm not liking this, I'm loving this. Blind guy's wife, their life. I appreciate y'all guys, man. I appreciate y'all guys. Lucifer says, did your cash at work? That's a good question, Lucifer. I don't have my phone on me, but you know what? I don't have my working phone on me, which has access to my cash app. Let me see if I can let me see, brother. Man, I appreciate you, Lucifer. Andre Hatchet came through as well, man. You know what, guys? I appreciate you guys for supporting me, man. I really do appreciate you. Brother Hatchet left me a nice super chat. Brother Lucifer, man. I appreciate you, man, for the super chat. Today's chat is sponsored by Brother Lucifer, man. Sponsored by Brother Lucifer. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. You've been generous today. You've been amazing. Thank you. JT Cohen Rain says this. I stack gold and silver. Chef Antoine stays cooking. 227. You're having fun like I am, man. KevTech IT Support says working on something with the CEO to educate minorities. Hey, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. You get so good at what you do to where you work with some of the top people to help other people. That's how we do it. Oh. Abby Texas, are you going to get the Louis Vuitton room? I don't need that. That's not my style. It's not my style, man. I don't need to do that, but I appreciate him for doing that. But no, that's not me, man. That is not me. We come in all different shades, all different assets, all different facets. Do you have a Discord? If you join the Patreon, you actually have access to the Discord, VX. Guys, have a good rest of your Saturday. Go get some work done. Think about your plans. If you don't have a plan, start to think about it. I would say create it right away. Before you create it, you actually have to think about it. And one thing that I do all the time is I write my stuff down. What am I gonna get done today? Boom, 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 boom. It's important. Oh, Angrit's says it was our first time watching this channel. I appreciate you, man. You got a new subscriber. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Guys, have a good rest of your Saturday, and we will see you the next time. Let's do my outro this time. I'm gonna do my outro. Peace. JT, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for the cash out.